Hi guys, Peter Marco here. This is very educational. I just finished these 2 pairs of earrings. You have to shop the world to see things like this. This is 20 carats each. They're African emeralds, Zambian. They're certified with like 20 carats of diamonds. And then I built this pair, which is 60 carats, so they're 30 carats each. And then what's interesting is there's so many shades to the emeralds. But when you look closely, you'll notice one's a little darker and deeper, one's a little lighter and livelier. And the love and the appreciation is all preference. Some people prefer this one, some people prefer this. Everything's certified. But again, 40 carats, 60 carats.
Why I wanted to work with Uncle Peter Marco was, well, I've been seeing him on social media, I've been seeing him online, and I've known that he's killing it. Been in the jewelry game, been in the game for what, a long time now. What was it, like 50, how many years? 45 years. So respect to that. And I wanted to get his insight on, like how he built his business and how he's able to attract that type of clientele and reach certain levels of success. It's crazy to me. So to me, that's intriguing. And I give all the respect to that. That's somebody that I admire and I look up to and definitely want to learn. I mean, I learned a lot just from our meeting today.
Thank you for the opportunity.
No, thank you for the opportunity.
Appreciate it.
Now, you started off 15 years old with clean floors, right? How did you get here in Big Saturday? This is a mega empire you're making. I mean, you're very successful. A lot of figures out there. How do you get to this point? What was that transition like?
I'm gonna make a long story real short.
Okay, that was a few minutes.
Because I could have this here for a couple of days. They need a lot of popcorn and soda. So I basically got hired over the summer to clean the place, and I proved myself that I was on time every day and was trustworthy. The owner put a diamond on the floor one day at 10 carat stone and said, "Pete, go vacuum my office." And I vacuumed it. I see it on the floor and I picked it up and I'm like, oh my God, this is the world to me,
Yeah. And when you were there, 15 years old, cleaning the floors, who was that exactly to you, with that person that you were working with?
I wasn't working with him, I was working for him.
Okay.
He was the owner of the company.
Okay.
Yeah, and I picked it up and I returned it to them. And then one day, this was over the summer, the messenger boy called in sick. And so, I know it sounds like, you're a delivery man, but I had to fill in for the messenger boy. And I was walking around 300,000-400,000 worth of gold, diamonds, and platinum. I had to pick up and deliver because we were a factory.
Yeah.
And they needed rubies and stuff. So anyway, I proved myself, and at the end of the summer, my dad left when I was 4. My mom remarried and left when I was 15. And at 15 years old, I got married apartment in New York. At 15 years old? 15 years old. And, there's no even school for growing up on the streets or living alone. You just do it and you mature real quickly.
Yeah.
But I was always ahead of my years. I was always focused. It's embarrassing to some, but I'm proud of it at this point, especially when we get to my age. When I'm 62, and never once in my life did I smoke.
Really?
Once in my life did I drink, and never once in my life did I do a drug.
Wow.
Yeah, never in my life. I don't even know what that is.
Proud.
I don't even know. But now,
And you're in LA.
and yeah, and growing up in New York, you would think that you would do that. But all my life, I had responsibility. I had to clean, cook, work, pay my bills, go to school. So, long story short, I went to school from 7:30 in the morning to 11:30. I was supposed to go from 7:30 to 3:30, but I went from 7:30 to 11:30. I worked at the company from 12 to 6. I went to night school from 6:30 to 9:30 in Manhattan on 14th Street, Union Square. It was called Washington Irving Night School.
Okay.
And I did that because my goal was to get enough credits to graduate high school. And I had to deal with my guidance counselor, rearrange my schedule, and all that took place. And then I worked, and from the messenger, I then got promoted. Everything was done. Everything was clean. I'd sit down, I'd watch the jewelers, and I became a jeweler. I became a polisher, I became a diamond setter, and I worked my way up. And then I went in the production department, and I learned all my knowledge of stones. And,
And how old are you at this time?
17.
17. 2 years span, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And my big break came
when I graduated high school, and the owner came to me and says, "Mead, I think you'd be a good salesman." And
Same company?
same company, yeah. And he said, he gave me a bag, I remember like yesterday, and it was about $3 billion. And it was all in delivery jewelry. And I was like, okay, what do I do? He said, all right, you get in your car. Then you're gonna go from New York, then drive to Hartford, Connecticut, Boston, Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire. And he said, when you get to the city, you're gonna go to that big book that used to have called the Yellow Pages. All right, you're gonna look up jewelers. And whichever jeweler is showing ads for expensive watches or big diamonds, you're gonna rip out the pages and you're gonna call on that store. That's what I did. I just cold fought. I said, knocked on the door. I said, hi, my name's Peter. I'm with this company in New York. I gave the name. And I said, let me show you my line. I'm a little tell note. And that's how stores get their inventory, because they deal with manufacturers. And we were a manufacturer. And then I came back after 2.5 weeks and I sold. And he said, all right, now this is going to be a big trip. And I remember like yesterday, because I did it so often, but I left New York and I went to Jersey. I went to Philadelphia. I went to Delaware. I went to Baltimore. I went to D.C., to Virginia's, Carolinas, Atlanta, Florida.
Yeah.
And that's exactly the route. And I was gone for 1 month and I came back and I sold a whole bunch of jewelry. And long story short, I got in my car and for 4 years, I had no wife, no kids, no family. And I drove the whole United States 11 and a half months out of the 4 years. For 4 years.
So till 21.
11 and a half months that year, Georgia Bill, a road Wally.
Yeah.
And then, after 4 years or so, I got enough courage to get on planes. And then I was hopping all over the United States.
Yeah.
If I was in Dallas one day, in New York the next day, Louisiana the next day, at Minneapolis the next day, wherever the business took me. And then what happened was he said to me, Pete, see what you did here? I want you to do New York. So one of the biggest jewelry shows in the world is in Switzerland.
Okay.
And I went to that show and I laid out my line of samples. And who came to that show was owners of stores from all over Europe. It's like going to a trade show, but it's not open to the public. It's open to the trade. And the next thing you know, I met store owners all over Europe. I was traveling all over Europe. And then he said to me, I want you to do this in Asia. And I went to Tokyo and I went to Hong Kong. And I did trade shows. And so long story short, over like 25 years, I traveled the whole world selling jewelry.
Was this before
the store?
Peter Marco.
Before the store, yeah. I had nothing to do with a store. I was on the road. And then,
how much, like, so as a young adult, right, at 17 to, what age when you say 17 to, before Peter Marco started?
No, so I'm 62 now. Marco's been around 20 some years, about 40.
Okay, so 40 until you started your sale line?
Yes.
Okay, so during that time, like, what are some of, like, the developments you were able or you with, like, somebody else?
So, like anything else, it depends on your product and how desirable it is. We had a really high-end quality. So when I went into the city, there could have been thousands of jewelers, but I could only sell one or two. There would be the number 1 or 2 store that dominated the area as far as quality, because we were like the Rolls Royce of jewelry. Okay. So I'll tell you this. When I graduated high school, I was 18. So when I went on the road that year, I was on the road for 6 months.
Yeah.
The following year, I was on the road the whole year. So what they used to do is, they used to give me $2,000 a week. And this was called a draw against commission. So what that means is, I had to pay all my own expenses, but they gave me money to travel. And I had to cover that in sales. But come on, I was 19 years old living a good life.
Yeah.
Still get $2,000 a week. I was traveling all over the world, right? All over the place. So at the end of the year, I get called in, and the owner says, Pete, sit down. And I said, what's up? What did I do? He said, I'm going to call the corporate lawyer, the corporate banker, the corporate accountant, and the corporate financial advisor. And I'm going to ask them to take you under their wing. I was like, okay, why? He said, well, you sold a lot this year. You made a lot of money. How much? I made a lot of money. I was 19 years old, and I made an incredible amount, more than doctors and lawyers.
What was it was it right at 6 figures or more? That was,
I think 7.
They're 19-year-old, huh?
19 years. He has got no bad habits.
Wow.
And so,
see what no smoking, no drinking can do for you guys?
that it did, for all
No farts work.
no, it's like, You know, I just, you know, I take a kid who had nothing, talking about cardboard in the sneakers with manholes in them. You know, I had to ask my mother for orange and some milk, and I had to drink water. And it was just like the girl hardcore. And to give that kid an opportunity, and I never wanted to go back. But you don't think about it, whole United States is built up on success stories. You know, I talk to guys in the music industry that will tell you, I've heard their stories, how people started from nothing, and how they, you know, instead of going out partying with the women and this and that, they went to the studio, making music, and the work. So you got to put the work in. You got to dedicate and loyal to a trade, and that's what I did.
And who's the gentleman that you worked with? Seems like he gave you a great opportunity as well.
He gave me a great opportunity with no family at all. He just respected it. He thought I was a fine young man and had good values.
How'd you find
work tour. How'd you find? I chat at the beginning of the story. My mother had a friend who had a friend. He was working as a jeweler, his company, and she wanted to get me off the streets. They brought me up there to clean the clothes. And that's how I started. So, you know, then 9/11 came. I also got married, became a father, and I wanted to be a father that I didn't have. I didn't want to be an absence too long. And so I said, I love what I do. And I was thinking, all right, I'll go for the store. And I was thinking Paris, I was thinking Tokyo, I was thinking London, I was thinking Vegas, New York. And then when you look at the complete package, the weather here, they're not out of business 6 months out here like it would be in some cities or states because of the weather.
Right.
And I was thinking, hey, but they're going to drive Beverly Hills, Hollywood. And I found this location, I opened up. And as I said,
years old at this time?
About 40, yeah. And then I, you know, like everything else, I work hard. You know, you get in with a couple of people, and it's the right people, and they refer you and recommend you. They post you, they Instagram you, whatever it takes, and referrals are now influence. Everyone in Hollywood, everyone in the music industry, all of the sports world, you know, major doctors and lawyers and accountants and successful business people just like to go to them.
Yeah.
And you know, our values, our morals are really strong and high, and we are a relationship store, won't be a transaction store. That people pick up on our energy, our vibe, and they know we're real. And that's what people want. You want to latch on to people who are real and hold on to you.
Because people will do business with people that they like, right?
Yeah.
And businesses thrive more when the relationships matter.
Of yours, you know, and people don't when it's all about the money or when it's all about the depth. And it's really about, you know, I'm not great for happiness people. I love the people. And it's really easy. This isn't a job. It's a hobby.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
That's just, it's exploring. I don't know what else to say. You know, it's a good example of life. Like, maintain the integrity, the values, your morals, be the right people. You're gonna get knocked down. How you get up, how you handle it, and move forward. But just look at yourself. You know, I don't have partners, I don't have banks, I'm one of the investors. I know, you know, if somebody comes in and I owe something, you know, for $1,000 and they say, can I give you $1,025? Can't I just do it? I'm happy for them. I brought happiness to them. I made their day.
Yeah.
You know, it's not about the money. And then when you make it not about the money, somehow it's the Alice and Leos. It just works.
The money just follows.
Hip hop.
Yeah.